Hey, we are live. Hey, my name's Liam Jones. I am an artist from Toronto, Canada, and comic maker trying to go pro. I am working with a company called Tardigrade Press, and this is Charlie Ragnarok, who is a young artist hailing from lesser known comics. She's got a Kickstarter coming out in May. She's not bent on world domination at this current time, I understand.
I'm occupied making comics, so you guys are lucky. Yeah.
Right on. So we were just talking before we started here, and this is really kind of off the cuff. There was no plan. We were going to get together with like a bunch of other people, but everyone had some kind of issues going on. So anyway,
we were just like, why not right now? No time like the present.
I just posted a totally rad video on Instagram with like a reaction to an NFT video thing, and it seems to be blowing up. Actually, like people seem to like it.
Okay.
It's got a couple of hundred views last time I checked, and it's just that was only like 20 minutes ago.
Dang. Yeah, okay.
Pretty good. But anyway, so we're talking here, and I got a bunch of stuff queued up. So let's start at the beginning. Who are you? Where are you from?
Oh boy. Yeah. So I'm Charlie. I'm from the Baltimore area. I used to work at a mall, and now I make comics about it. While I'm also commonly believed to be a vampire, I'm not, but I've met a lot of them. I am inspired by them, and I make a lot of art that's like vampire-y and goth.
Your Instagram page is red and black.
Yes.
That's pretty much. I'm going to go to the Instagram first because this is what I looked at. So I found out about you through Mark Bernal. Am I pronouncing his last name?
Yeah, Bernal.
And he's the guy from lesser known comics. He's like, I know him from Instagram because he always looks really friendly, and he's holding up a bunch of comics from other people and promoting the crap out of them.
He has like the friendliest face.
So friendly. And he's in the army. Like you wouldn't want to mess with him.
No, I never never guessed that until you like told me. I was like, oh, really?
Yeah. And like a long time military guy.
Yeah.
Too. So, yeah. He's been there for a while. So let's do a screen share here and go into we're going to go all psychedelic. Watch this. I love it. So this, okay. So yeah, first, this is your current. So walk us through this. What is, So I worked at the mall vampire cult story.
All right. So I worked at the mall is a series of mine. It's a once yearly release. And so far we have the first installment out, the vampire cult story. So this is about the true story about the time that a vampire cult infiltrated my workplace at the mall. And it was a very, very weird time. And I was like, you people are so strange. Like, I'm going to write a book about you one day. And here it is. So I have so many stories from my time working at the mall that I have enough material to make a yearly series about it. So here we are.
So this is a mall in Baltimore.
Yeah, like a suburb of Baltimore, but yeah, like that greater area.
Right.
Yeah.
I think isn't that kind of the hallmark of a writer, that it doesn't matter where you're from, you're going to find crazy stories to tell. It doesn't matter where it is.
Like, they say write mall, what you know, and I know like mall rats. So
yeah. So this is like Mallrats. You just said the title. So that's a Kevin Smith movie.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that movie is wild.
Were you at all influenced by it?
No, not really. I'm more influenced by like the real people I met. You know, because like again, I just have enough material from them to like write about. So maybe in the future I will need more inspiration, but for right now I have quite a lot.
So vampire cult in the mall. Tell me.
Yeah, a local. So fun fact, I would later learn there are like underground vampire cults in almost, or maybe they're not cults, but like clubs. Some of them are clubs, some of them are like groups in pretty much every major city, like in America, probably around the world too. So and there's like documentaries about it too. It's like a real thing. I met a member of one from New York. So that was also interesting. I'm like, yeah, they're everywhere.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's not
Yeah.
just a Baltimore thing.
Man, I mean, I watch movies all the time about this kind of stuff. And actually, one of my favorite comic books at the moment is Philadelphia. Have you ever read Philadelphia?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
It's a good name.
you might really like Philadelphia. My favorite
Okay.
artist, one of my favorite artists, Jason Sean Alexander, is the artist, and the writer is Rodney Barnes. He's
Yeah, let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, no, it's sick. It's super sick. I ended up getting the graphic novel because they're compiling everything into compendiums and stuff. But
Ooh, yeah,
it's
it looks
about
cool.
vampires taking over I think it's Philadelphia. No, yeah, well, Philadelphia, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that story. Oh my god. Yeah, no, it was wild. I definitely turned it into something funny, but yeah, they were some strange characters.
I think the mall's kind of given to that though. Like
Oh yeah.
it'd be hard to write about the mall and make it into a drama.
The mall just like it just has so much craziness and discord and strange characters all like smashed together, you know.
I'm going to give you a sec to think about one of the stories there. We'll come back to that in a moment, but I wanted to ask you something about this. So you said that it's an annual comic, and I just want to be clear about something here because I've just finished up a 6-page comic book that I wrote the script for, built out the
Mhm.
world. I wrote the script, I made all the jokes, I had it edited, I drew it, I inked it, I colored it, did the lettering, and it took me forever. I think
Yeah.
it was like months and months and months and months. You did a whole stinking comic, written, illustrated, like
And
everything.
yeah, I lettered this one too.
That's
Colored.
insane. That's a
Yeah.
crazy amount of work.
Yeah, it's 48 pages. The next one is going to be 60, and that one's almost done. So, I also just draw really fast. Even when I was in college, everyone was like, "Dang, like you
Yeah.
cranked that out fast."
Yeah,
Like,
no kidding. Like
yeah.
what?
Well,
What are
also
you
a lot of
doing that you
it
can do this so quickly?
a
Like
lot
that's
of it
so
is
bizarre.
process, right? So process work is like essential to your flow and how you get it done quickly. I think also chopping off unnecessary details is like a really I
It's
think
gotta happen. Yeah, like,
yeah.
if I were to
Oh,
go into
yeah.
this, I would, like, be doing all the crazy cross-hatching and make sure
Oh,
that
no.
everything's like
No, and
yeah, no, you're having
that's
fun with this, right?
the benefit of working digitally, I think, is that you can fill very large, like, spots with ink like that, you know? When you're working traditionally, obviously, you know, you could use, like, a bigger brush, but it's, again, I can just fill large patches with a click, you know, so that helps a lot, working digitally as well.
These
Um,
drawings are great. Is that you?
no, no, I'm the one, like, with the light hair. I used to have blonde hair when I was younger, so, like, that's younger me.
Ah,
Um
that's great. Oh, yeah, me sorry, it says me right there.
Yeah.
Never
Yeah,
mind.
that's little me, little
I'm running on very
17-year-old
little sleep right
Charlotte.
now.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. And my
Sweet. Did
creepy manager.
your manager looks like a creep. He looks like
Uh-huh,
he's
and he was. Oh,
he
believe
was.
that.
Oh.
Yep.
Mhm.
I've had a lot of creepy managers. It's funny, like, people that, like me and Mark show this who are like, "I know that guy." They're like, "That's, like, a guy in my life," and he's just a relatable, like, character, I think so many people have met, is, like, the weird, creepy hipster guy at your local mall, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, like older guy, like 40s
Yeah.
or
Yeah, like, who even knows? He's just, like, mysterious and weird.
right. Yeah, probably looking to get some of them young girls.
Oh,
Us.
yeah. Unfortunately, yes.
That's awful. Absolutely awful.
Yeah, big
Okay, so
cringe
we're naturally going back to my question then. So, do you have a story that you can relay?
that I can relay.
Yeah,
Like
just a quick story from that time, like something either
oh.
in the comic or not in the comic, doesn't
Oh,
matter. But
yeah.
like,
Well, I mean,
what
talking
about that whole thing inspired you?
I think, so from the comic, it starts out, creepy manager explains that this woman keeps flirting with him, right? And, like, we don't care. We're ordering pizza. We're like, "Yeah, cool, like, whatever." And then he's like, nah, but like it gets weird. And we're like, okay, like what happened? And he was like, she like threw something to me and I was like, cat, I caught it. And I, like without thinking. And then she ran away like giggling. And he found in his hands this vial of blood. And he was like knowing this person, he's like, I'm pretty sure it's real. And like it's human blood, like it's her blood. And he's like, this is like a token of her affection, right? And we're all like, bro, what? Like, that is not a normal gift. And then I just kind of looked at him and I was like, you kept it, didn't you? And he was like, no. Like, in like the least convincing voice possible.
No, I
no way.
And would never do anything like that.
I was like, you totally did. And we're all like laughing at him. And we're like, bro, like that's so weird. Also a biohazard. Like, ugh, big cringe. So like that's where it all started. And that's the beginning. That's the beginning of the story.
A bunch of people when his blood went into the bottle and then like someone drank it. I think Stan Lee drank it and he died in the movie. Isn't that how it worked?
I don't even know, but like it was wild. And like I said, that's how the story starts. That's how it all this is real life. This really happened. And that's like it just goes downhill from there.
Wow. Wow. How old were you at the time?
I was 17. I was a 17-year-old kid dealing with all these like weird people in my store.
So this guy, he sounds like he was like signaling that.
I think he liked the attention. Mm-hmm. He was like, I like that this girl gave me her literal blood. Like,
hey, it's nice to have the attention of women, even if they're handing
right, even if they're putting a spell on you or something. There's a compliment in there somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, could be. I mean, it reminds me of in Dune. When the guy, have you seen the new Dune movie?
I actually haven't. I need
really?
to. I'm behind on my movies lately. I still have to see Batman. I haven't even seen Batman.
I haven't seen Batman. I just watched the new Spider-Man.
I haven't seen that either. I'm like, yeah, I've been swamped with work though, so like I haven't left my house. Hardly.
Nice. Well, you're doing a comic a year, so yeah.
I'm doing a lot of comics a year.
Seriously. So what do you do for is it just this, or do you work a day job? Do you work for lesser known comics?
I do. I work like 3-day jobs. I'm like all over the place. Like I'm kind of in between like different. I'm like, sorry, excuse me. I'm getting over a sinus infection, so if I suddenly start like coughing or whatever, that's what's going on. Yeah. So I do have some day jobs that I work. And then I also do like freelance illustration. So I work for lesser known comics, obviously. I tried to do my own project like on the side. I'm also doing, I actually recently started working with an author and illustrating a comic for her content. So yeah, I'm this busy all the time. I'm all over the place.
The dream.
I'm trying to, man. I'm really I'm trying to make comics the full-time thing. So that's the goal. We're getting there slowly but surely.
Same here, except that my day job has nothing artistic about it whatsoever. I'm driving a bus and trying to find every waking moment to like draw.
Yeah.
So they gave me the nickname at work, Sketch, which I think is an amazing name. I'm really happy about that. Actually, to be honest, it hasn't caught on. It's one of my supervisors that calls me that and tries to get everyone else to call me that.
Right.
And maybe it's working. I don't know. We'll see. But I think it's a great name.
That could be taken in different ways, though. Like, that's Sketch over there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
No, I went on a date with a guy whose last name started with Perv, so everyone called him Perv.
Of course.
Even though he wasn't. He was like a perfect gentleman. Like.
Eventually, it could be a self-fulfilling prophecy, though.
Yeah, probably. Eventually.
Sometime down the road,
Yeah.
Yeah. As I've gotten older, it's like, okay, am I going to hold on to normalcy, or am I going to go down this crazy pathway that I could go down? It's like when you smile, your face stays that way, right? And if you frown, your face goes that way.
Yeah.
It's like that with your behaviors as well. What you like
Yeah.
kind of those little quirks that were so like interesting when you were younger quickly become unsightly and ridiculous as you get older. This is what I found.
Yeah.
This is what I found. So you need to keep on correcting. Like, thank God I have a daughter. She keeps me on point on things. You know, it's important. Otherwise, if you because artists are like introverts, right? Are you introverted?
Yeah, I'm kind of in between. I can be a loudmouth sometimes, but I guess like I do recharge by myself, I would say. So yeah, I guess I'm an introvert.
Yeah, same here. And like, I could spend all my time just in my apartment, just drawing the whole time.
Yeah.
Never speak to another
Oh
person.
yeah,
And
I can draw
I'd
all
probably,
day and like not
yeah,
deal with people. Yeah.
but you end up getting weird, right? So
Yeah.
you got to get out and socialize.
You don't want to become like a hermit, you know?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Yeah. Doesn't sound like the mall was the best experience for you aside from
Oh, it's funny because like it's weird. It's like I loved working there, but I also like had a lot of weird shit happen. Oh man, there was just constant drama. It was very entertaining though. I will say that. It was like watching TV. Life was a sitcom. Like, yeah.
So I drive bus for during the days and nights at all hours at this point. And just yesterday, I had a guy come on and his legs were giving out as he came on the bus.
Oh
And
my
so
God.
like I should have realized what was about to happen, but I didn't because I'm used to mornings. So
Okay.
night times, especially on Friday nights, it's going to be a jungle, right? It's going to be awful.
Oh yeah.
And I had forgotten. So there's things you can do. Like when you get a bunch of drunks on your bus, what you do is you lower the temperature. You just
Yeah.
freeze everybody out. And that way they don't get nauseous and everyone's like, kind of crisp and ready to go.
Keeping it
the
cool.
if it heats
Yeah.
room temperature or above, they're going to fall asleep or they're going to puke. One of the two. And it's never good. Both of those situations are awful, right? Anyway, this guy was the latter, and he just fouled the whole bus. It was disgusting. Like he emptied the full contents of his stomach, and they just went everywhere.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah, it's like I left the day. I'm like, I can't wait to get out of this job and do comics full time.
Yeah, I've worked at a grocery store, right? And there was one day, it was so bad. So no one told us that the men's room was destroyed, right? So it's like end of the night, and I'm like, all right, busy day, got time to, everything's winding down, and now I can clean the bathroom. And this hulking, like 350-pound man comes out of the bathroom, and he's this close to me. He's like in my face, screaming. And I'm like, I'm a little female, and he is just screaming at me, and he's like, this place is disgusting. I don't know why I come back to this shithole. And he was, I mean, like veins like bulging out of his neck, and he's like in my face. And I'm like looking around like, man, you don't have to get physically aggressive with my tiny ass. But I kept my cool, and I was just holding my mop like, sir, I'm getting to it right now. But when I go in there, and now I don't think it was him because this stuff clearly had been sitting for like hours. But when I go in there, it was a goddamn murder scene. I mean, blood, every blood. Listen, toilet bowl full of blood trailing on the seat, down the seat, into the center of the room, where there was a bloody waffle stomped turd, dry to a crisp. And I literally had to call my manager. I call her up on the walkie-talkie. I was like, this is a biohazard, and I do not know how to clean this.
You sure do paint a picture, Charlie Ragnarok.
Listen, I'm a storyteller, and I attract all these weird stories. Let me tell you what. You would be surprised how many people like shit in public shamelessly.
Dude needs to eat more vegetables.
Bro, he needs, I don't know if he's alive. That was a lot of blood. I
was thinking you were going for the vampire thing.
No,
and I realized it was probably a lack of vegetables and hydration issue.
It was probably a busted hemorrhoid or something. Or bro was doing hard drugs. I really don't know. Anything's possible in Baltimore. Wow. Welcome to Charm City, bitch.
Man, Oh man.
But yeah, oh man, it was crazy. And then I had a manager who told me at another location, a man robbed the store with a machete. He walked into the store with a machete.
Sorry, in the mall?
No, into
No.
the grocery store.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, in another grocery store location. With a machete not to steal money, or like kill somebody, to steal one bag, just one, of peanut M&Ms. A machete! That's overkill, brother.
I'm familiar with this. He probably just, it was handy and that's what he got. Like I was talking about this with my buddy. It's like a lot of these people, they're just like, they're all bark, no bite.
I guess. Right? I hope.
There's zero commitment to their cause. They're just like, dude, I just want this thing and I'm used to being weird and outrageous. And this is how I'm going to do it. Like the other day I walked into a Tim Hortons because I'm Canadian, and so Tim Hortons is like our thing, it's like right up there with the national anthem. So anyway, I go in there and there's a ruckus happening, right? There's like yelling and screaming, and I'm looking and I see that there's like this short guy and he's yelling at the tellers and I right away, he's trying to get free food. That's what they want. And there's like a homeless lady. So they're all hobos. Like this town, Hamilton, that we were in. It was like, it's a rough town. There's a lot of sketch happening there. So anyway, this is what they were doing. And, obviously the employees were used to it, but they weren't having it today. So like they're yelling at them, screaming at them to get out. And this whole thing happens. And, I'm feeling brave for some reason. I don't know. My 6 months of jujitsu like gave me some courage or something. So I walk up to the guy.
I can take this guy.
It's like, I'm 6'1". He's like barely 5'6". I'm feeling confident, right?
Yeah.
So I walk up to the guy and I say, "Hey, buddy, the door is this way. You should probably just go, right?" And he's like, "Well, who are you?" And I said, "My name's Liam, and you're a dick." And we just started backing at it, doing all this. And then I realized that he really had zero commitment on this whole thing. He was just causing a fuss to try to get a free sandwich and a coffee, and they weren't going to do it this time.
No.
So I was like, oh, he's no threat to anybody. So I was just barking at him, and he's like pleading his case with everybody. And I'm just in line at this point. And he's like, "Hey, you want to step outside?" I'm like, "Dude, I've been trying to get you outside the whole time. Like,
no, please."
Yeah.
Yes, that is the goal.
Let's go. Yeah, no, it's like that.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah, no, I had a lady refuse to wear a mask. Like this was like the height of COVID, like restrictions and stuff. And my coworkers were like too nice to like do anything. So every time someone refused to follow the rules, they would call them. Keep in mind, like I'm not even a manager. Like they would call me. Not the manager. They call me because I'm a bitch, and I would go up to the
because you're used to
this lady. I'm used to crazy. Okay, so this lady, I walk up to her and I'm like, "Ma'am, do you have do you need a mask? Like I can provide one for you." And she's like, really smug too. She's like, "No, I have one right here." And I was like, "Okay, well I'm gonna need you to put it on like while you're in the store." And she's like, "That's not a law, right?" And then I'm just looking, like I'm taller than her too. I'm like looking into her soul. I got like the evil eye. And I said, "It is a law, ma'am. It's also a company policy. So even if it wasn't a law, you still got to wear it in my store." And I just stared at her like that. I'm like, until she did it.
Weighs a ton.
I'm just staring at her silently, looming over her because I'm taller than her. And then she just slowly puts the mask on and like looking all like sheepish, And then she's like, "I hate all this propaganda, don't you?" And I looked at her and I said, "Ma'am, I understand it's an inconvenience. I have to wear this 9 hours a day. Like you can do this while you are shopping for 20 minutes in my store." And then I walked away.
Do you get the like the rawness behind the ears from the masks?
Not really. They actually fit me okay. I don't really have that problem. Yeah.
I think it's just I got this beak. You know what I mean? So I was like, it stretches and it's like.
Yeah. No, I don't know. They just don't bother me. Yeah. But yeah, this lady. And then So many customers were just super weird, and like, we had these ladies that would come in with like lace masks. And I remember one time, like, they came through my line, which was a mistake because, again, I am not afraid of confrontation. If I can handle the scary 350-pound man, I can handle you, ma'am. But yeah, and they come through my line, and I'm like, I ring them up, and I'm glaring right at them, and I got like my cat eye makeup too, and I'm like, and then they're like giggling and laughing, and then I glare at them. They're quiet as can be.
The Charlie Ragnarok cat of Doomrook.
Literally, and like, I remember she's like, "Oh, like, did you like get this one item? I had 2 of them." And I literally shamelessly, I look her up and down, and I was like, "No." Like, oh my god, I have no patience for people that don't follow the rules in my store. I just don't. I can't.
I think the moral of the story may be life is better in comics, you know, because then the only weird people you're dealing with are other comic book artists and people at conventions who are there.
Yeah, we need to make this full time is what we need to do. Yep. So we don't have to deal with the crazies. The only crazies we deal with are other artists. That's right.
Well, we are a bag of cats, to be fair. I think definitely, you know.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, like, I know I wouldn't be a very good artist if I wasn't like a little bit crazy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta have a little bit. It's like that Seal song, you know, never gonna survive. Sprinkle. Just a sprinkle,
like Salt Bay.
Dear, you remember? You're younger. You might not get the bam guy. The bam. You know what I'm talking about?
Was it on like a commercial?
He was a cooking show guy, you know, and he would like
I watch a lot,
and then he'd take a little bit of spice at the end, a little bit of salt, and like just bam onto it, and that was his thing.
I can imagine it. But no, that's it with the crazy, just the bam.
Yeah, it's kind of what it is. It's like the accent, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think
it's like the MSG, like that little, a little something else.
All right, well, let's take a look at your Instagram because I love your Instagram. Your Instagram is wild. So,
I redid the aesthetic. I'm very happy with it.
I watched an interview with you and Gabe Valentine. Is that his last name?
Yeah.
Gabe.
Yeah, me and Gabe are like, we're like sun and moon, you know, but we're like friends, you know, we're like opposites, but we get along.
Well, it was like that. So this interview was hosted by, it was unforgettable. I watched the whole thing. It was long. It was like over 2 hours. I loved every minute of it. It was so much fun. I got to tell you, you guys do great interview. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, if I'm getting to know Mark, I gotta have these guys.
Who are these people? I like them.
Yeah, this is really good stuff. So, yeah, I watched that interview, and it was with that guy from, like, he had a South African accent.
I think it was Australian.
Australian?
Yeah.
Australian. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. So Gabe was in like sunny
California,
he
beautiful
had, like,
palm trees,
like beautiful. Like it looked like he was in a green screen, but it
literally, it didn't even. He's like, "This is my backyard, like no biggie," and I'm like, "Must be nice,
bro." And then you were like
in darkness,
you could hear the wolves howling in the distance, right? It's like complete darkness, like you're
cold,
shaded,
rainy, pale face, black hair. Yeah,
it was good times. It was a really good interview.
Gabe is like Real Housewives of Orange County, and I'm like The Ring, you know, like that's what the aesthetic that was going on in that interview.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is kind of, is this just for Instagram, or is this what you do like all the like?
So this is stuff that I kind of just like enjoy doing on the day-to-day. A lot of it is my personal project called Scorned, which I do hope to turn into a full-length series someday. But for now, I just kind of draw my characters and stuff, and I post them on Instagram. So that's a lot of what it is. Some of it's fan art. But yeah, it's, I guess, the stuff that I enjoy doing is what I would call it. My Instagram.
Nice. Nice. I actually commented on this one. What's the font? Oh, you replied.
I did respond.
You did.
I pretty much always respond.
How come I didn't get that? Anyway, yeah. So CC.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think I downloaded it from like
Bot.
no, I think I got it off of like I want to say Adobe. You can download fonts, and I just
Oh,
looked at like comic book stuff, and it came up. But
nice.
yeah,
That's a great drawing. It's so straight up, like you haven't rendered, like you just
oh yeah,
drew it. And
it's like a sketch, honestly, and I was like, I kind of like it how it is. I'm just gonna leave it.
I love it. It's great. Oh, there you are. Ooh, look
There
at
I
you.
am.
Wow.
I didn't know we were doing this, so I have no makeup on right now. Yeah, it's like, who the hell is that?
I'm the same way. Like I'm all set up to do like I was doing a perspective tutorial before we talked, and this is
Oh
what I've
yeah.
been working on all day, working on this thing. So this guy here, I thought it was Spider-Man at first, but it's
Oh
plaid.
no, it's just
He's wearing
plaid.
a plaid shirt.
Yeah, that's a fan art. I did Cyan Mandrake won a contest of mine, and so I drew their character in my
Nice.
style. And if you click on the little arrow, you'll see the full color version.
Oh yeah, look at that. Nice.
But yeah, so I do limited color and full color, like yeah.
Right away, I'm geeking out on this. So yeah, obviously you know what you're doing.
I like to think so. Sometimes I don't feel like it.
I can tell by the contrasts, the softness here, the hardness on the nose, and right here, like the planes of the face. Also,
I love faces. That's my favorite thing to draw is portraits. So
you're killing it. You're killing it, Charlie Ragnarok.
thank you.
The folds on the shirt with the green, yeah, beautiful, real good. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you scroll like further down on my Instagram, like just past the red, black, and white stuff, I have more like fully rendered stuff. Oh, cool. I think you're on the posts page. But what happened? Oh. So yeah, I kind of dabble in a little bit of everything. Like my work on So I Worked at the Mall is like really cartoony and silly. And then on my Instagram and like what I do for the lesser known comics main series is like a little more serious and kind of like this. So yeah.
Ah, right. So I remember Mark said in the interview that he was like, when he saw your work, he was like, "Oh, vampire porn! Oh, wow!
Yeah, cool." No, he thought I was a man. He thought I was a gay man.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. No, a lot of people assume that about me, or that I'm just like a guy. I draw a lot of boobs too, and they're like, "This has got to be a man," and I'm like, "No, just me."
I find like that a lot of comic art that is mostly about like really hot women is done by women.
That's because we know how to make them look real good, you know?
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah. One of my faves these days on Instagram is Eliza. Do you know
Eliza? I don't know if I see that part. Let me look them up. Is it like
Leeleza? She does a whole bunch of stuff in pencil.
Oh, I might have seen this person.
Pencil and smudge stick.
Yeah, that takes me back to my art school days. I used to work entirely traditionally, and now I work pretty much entirely digitally. So yeah, changes have been made.
I love this.
Oh yeah,
murdered this one.
That one was just a self-indulgent like vampire dilf that I drew. Yeah. Oh, and I even said in like the caption, he looks an awful lot like Lucius Malfoy because I might have a crush on Lucius Malfoy.
That's who I was going to say as well. Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I have a serious hard-on for villains. It's a problem.
I'm 47 and I've watched all the Harry Potter movies, not because I wanted to watch them, but because my daughter loved them, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, I was like, I had bought them, they were there. And so I find that sometimes I put it on and watch some Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. He's got it. That's all I'm saying. He's got it.
Got it. Lucius Malfoy. Oh, yeah. There's one scene in one of the Harry Potter movies where he's getting famous and he's in, I think it's a subway station, and there's a guy who recognizes him and he's like, Harry Potter, that's Harry Potter.
Ew. That's so creepy.
NSFW. This is great stuff. I love it.
Thank you.
Great work. Like I got introduced kind of off the cuff One of my friends just said, yeah, you should try Instagram. It's a positive kind of place. It's not as political as Facebook. And, I think you might like it. And it's, I mean, it is more positive than Facebook for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. That better than Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah. But I find that now I'm just stuck trying to hit the algorithm, and get a following.
The algorithm hates me. I constantly have like issues promoting stuff. I had an unlit cigarette in one of my images and it got flagged and I was not allowed to promote it with like money, like pay for promotion because
Really?
it had an unlit cigarette in it. In our drawing, you're allowed to promote gore. Like you can have someone ripping guts out, but you can't have an unlit cigarette.
That's so strange.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah, and you really only find out through trial and error. So the question is, does that affect all your other posts as well, or is it just that one? Like, do you get into like Instagram, the Instagram detention office, or, I don't know.
If that existed, I probably would be there. But yeah, no. I don't really promote stuff. It's mostly Mark promoting stuff, like for lesser known comics, but like I just post whatever I want and I'm like, whatever.
Love this guy.
Thank you. I love drawing him too. That one was done traditionally. That one was done with a pencil.
Oh yeah. No, you're killing it here. This is art murder. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very inspired by like alternative culture. So he's like an e-boy.
You know who your art reminds me of a little bit in some ways, and this is totally a compliment, is my man here, Kevin Eastman. Where I gotta come back. Let me try come back. There we go. Yeah, Kevin Eastman.
Yeah, I dig it.
I love his stuff. I bought this the other day, and it's all what it is it's just character design. It's not actually a comic book.
Oh, okay.
It's all the characters from his comic called Ronin.
Mm-hmm.
And this is classic Kevin Eastman style. And it's just info on his characters, all the details, like the tattoos, whatever. And I just eat it up. It's fantastic.
No, I love character development. That's like, characters are definitely like my favorite thing. I loathe backgrounds. And I think anyone who observes like my sequential work, like my finished comics is like, yeah, anywhere I can put just a solid black background, you bet I'm gonna do it. Like I try to keep it to a minimum because I hate doing backgrounds like so much.
How many books a year do you read?
Do I read? Yeah. To be honest, I don't consume like a lot of media, like comic book media, because I'm like making it all the time.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
True.
I'm like one of those people. I'd rather be making it than reading it. So I don't
The reason I ask is because only writers and people who read a lot would throw the word loathe into a sentence.
Yeah, no, I'm just goth. We just use those kinds of words in my culture.
I loathe such things.
Yeah, goths loathe a lot of things. You know what I mean? It's an important word for my people.
The utter disdain for all things civilized.
Yes.
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 Oh man. So how did you come to meet Mark and Lesser Known Comics?
He actually reached out to me. I was posting a lot of stuff on the indie comics tag. I was trying to just like post as much work as possible online and like honestly like get noticed really and build my following, of course. And then Mark just messaged me one day and was like, hey, like I'm really liking your stuff. Like, would you be interested in doing an ash can for my company? And I was like, yeah. And he really liked it. And the rest is history. So it all started with, what was it? Like a 9-page ash can or something. I forget how long it was.
That's great.
But yeah.
That's great. Man. I've started my own little thing. It's not actually started yet, but it's called Spin Kick Comics. And eventually I'll have my own comics company with employees and other artists and marketer. I would love to have someone who just
marketing team. Usually,
Yeah.
I guess it's like more than one
Start off
person.
as one person and then it'll eventually grow. Like you have a social media person and then you
That's
have a
what
person who does.
happens. Like, even just a year ago, like we had way less people, and now Lesser Known Comics has like I think we have 14 creators, and we have like a business lady and marketing
That's
people, and
crazy.
it's like it is crazy. It's like snowballed quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer in it. And you need to see it and then do it. So
Yeah.
I picture in my head, it's like I'm the guy who kind of brings everyone together. And I have a studio, like an actual physical space where the artists can come. We can do the virtual thing too. There'll be people who are virtual, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
Ours
I
is
think
like
it's,
entirely virtual. Yeah.
yeah, like it's so much cheaper, right?
Yeah.
And I think, in my opinion, like there's nothing like getting a whole team together. So if a comic like is running behind, someone else can fill in. Like when Image Comics was just starting, they had 5 or 6 artists who were working on whatever they were doing, and they
Mhm.
would fill in everything. It wouldn't just be Jim Lee, for instance, right? It would be Jim
Yeah.
Lee and then Will Portacio and everyone else, and they would all fill it in. And that's how they managed to crank out, absolutely destructively amazing comics every single month.
Yeah, it definitely takes a team for sure. And I think if your turnaround is that quick, it's like, yeah, no way it's just one person, you know?
Yeah. I don't know about you. I wouldn't want to do just comics though. Like,
Yeah.
are you a musician too? Do you do music?
No.
No?
I like used to try to play bass. That didn't go that great.
I could see
Uh
you playing bass.
I get
Totally.
yeah, when I tell people that they're like, that makes sense. Now I've had people be like, "Oh, you remind me of Marceline." And I'm like, "Well, I did used to play bass." And they're like, "That's so weird."
Oh man. Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, so my vision is to have a studio that specializes in comics, but also has a music studio and a video studio. So
Yeah.
we can do all the marketing and stuff in-house, right? You don't need to
Yeah.
outsource it to other people. And because like I've really come to like video. Like I started up a YouTube channel, I guess 2 years ago, and I started doing really awful YouTube videos at first, and they're getting slightly better over time.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I got into live streaming, and I didn't think I could do live streams at first because I didn't have enough. I don't even have 1,000 followers yet, right?
But you
But
got to start somewhere, you know?
yeah, they say that your first 100 subs is the most difficult, and then the next benchmark is 1,000. After you reach
Yeah.
1,000, there's a kind of critical mass that starts happening because you have a lot of videos and they all get views, and so you can grow faster at that point. But yeah, like I'm thinking 1,000 views or 1,000 subs, that's impossible. But like,
No, it
I don't
can
know if I'll
happen.
ever get there. Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing it,
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I've really come to like it. At first, it was difficult, like I just speaking in front of a camera without, the mouth kind of like getting so dry that like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I'm sipping my water here. Now
Oh
I
wow.
could talk all day. That's like I was like nervous when I started doing Instagram live videos, but
You do
I'm like
them? I don't have
yeah, I do
enough
them
following
kind
yet.
of
You
irregularly. I need to like have a schedule for them. My day job situation is like such a hot mess that I'm like I don't really have like a regular time right now that I can do it. But hopefully in the near future I will be regularly doing that. I do plan on live streaming a variant cover or something for the Digital Lizards of Doom. Um
like
the
you
third book.
drawing the thing and live like
Yeah, yeah,
doing it as you
I
do it?
like draw live, yeah, sometimes.
Yes.
So I would like to do that for Digital Lizards of Doom. Um, yeah,
Do you know of an artist named Babs?
Babs.
Babs? I didn't,
I feel
again,
bad. I like don't know these people you're talking about.
so yeah, well, I have to, yeah,
Let me
this is
look
the
them up. I
thing.
might know them by
This
like
is
how they
totally
look.
a Liam thing because I started getting into other artists.
Yeah.
So my buddy Chad from Tardigrade Press, he says that I'm an encyclopedia of artists, and meanwhile I think that I'm completely ignorant. But I
Oh,
guess
is it
there's some truth
Babs
to it.
Draws?
Babs draws, yeah. So this chick,
Yeah, no, these
uh,
are sweet.
yeah, I'm a fan. She runs her own studio as well, and her art's killer. She's like a CEO
Yeah,
of her
what a
own thing.
dream.
I know, right? 187K
Oh my
followers.
God, there's this person that I follow that is a huge inspiration for me. And their name is like LA Proxy.
Is he on
She's
Insta?
on Instagram. Yeah, it's Proxy like IE instead of Y. Yeah, that first one. I love everything they do. They have over 300,000 followers, and I'm like, I want what she has. She's
Oh,
only like
look at this.
she's
Yeah,
only
this is
like
awesome.
20. She's like a child prodigy, and I'm like, why am I not you?
What the hell, eh?
She's so talented, and I love every single character. I love everything she does. I like it. Like motivates me. I click on her like every day, and I'm like, I want that.
No, look at this. This
I
is no
want
joke.
that.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. No, everything she does is great. I did a fan art actually. Senpai noticed me. I did a fan art of one of her characters, and she responded and loved it. And I was like, the famous person acknowledged me.
Man.
And she's like still in college. I am sure she like gets job offers like all the time. I'm like, she's so talented. I just love her. I want to be friends with her.
So I had the pleasure of interviewing an artist who, as far as I know, grew up on Instagram, like came up,
Yeah.
career-wise. And he's from, I think he's from South America, maybe Brazil or something. And is it Brazil? No, he's not Brazil. Anyway, somewhere in South America.
Okay.
And his name is Diego John Killing. And he just started posting on Instagram, started doing like 3 posts a day, and then
It's a lot.
started just growing the thing. He's like 100K followers now. And he was doing commissions. Now it's like no more commissions. He's just doing comics.
Period. I do commissions still. But yeah.
I'm afraid to do commissions.
Why?
Commissions for me, because they'll take me away from getting my comic done. Like
I'm like, did someone say money? Like
my day job takes care of that. Like my day job,
gotcha.
Pretty good money wise. So it's like what I want is I want to get good. Like that's my main thing. So I want to develop my craft, to get a style, and then show people what I'm capable of. Like I've been drawing and painting for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Like I have chops, but not necessarily comic book chops, right?
Sure.
Like I know color, I know texture, I know all the fine art stuff. I can do abstract paintings that'll make you cry,
Sure.
But it's like when it comes to comic books, I know comic books, whole different thing.
It's a different animal for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the market too. Like every time I would do a painting, and it would be this beautiful, teal thing with nice oranges and stuff. And my brother and all my friends were like, "What are you doing? Why are you?"
I have a painting right here that has
You
teal
do?
and orange. Yeah, this is from my college days. This is usually hanging up. I don't know why it's not on the wall, but
hold on. Let me just do this here and get you full.
No, wait. Which way? This way.
How do I? Oh, here we go. There we go.
Yeah, that's really big.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
We've got a cat with a lantern and spooky ghost ladies with boobs. Yeah.
Fantastic. Killer.
But yeah, no, I used to paint like I was forced to paint. I like digitally painting. I prefer digital, obviously. So
digital's great. I invested in a scanner so that I can still do traditional work. But what happened was with my first 6 pages, they are done now. They're they're second draft, so I'm fixing them up.
Okay.
But it's looking really good, I think. And so I scanned them in, and then I started drawing digitally, and I'm like, this digital is so much more forgiving. Like, to fix up a piece of paper, you got to like white out, scratch it out. It's like if you ink it wrong.
I do think traditional has a certain charm to it. Definitely. But it can be really frustrating. Like digital, at least you can just like backspace and like, oh, yep, we're redoing that line, and then, it's just a lot more forgiving.
I see value in it because I'm seeing down the road, and not that far down the road when to start doing cons, right? Going to Comic-Con.
Yeah. I'm going to one next month. Yay!
You are?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I want to have a pile of original pages ready to go, covers and like just artwork that people can go through. The kind that age poorly. So you look at them and
it feels special.
They got the zipatone, the paper's yellowed, but the whiteout hasn't, or vice versa. And I want that. That's what I want.
Yeah, and like I tell I have friends that like want to get into comics and stuff, and I always tell them like you do not have to work digitally. Like I work with people at lesser known that are completely traditional. They do everything traditional. And you just do whatever you're comfortable with. Or a lot of people also, they'll like to maybe ink it traditionally, scan it, and then color it digitally. That's also really common. I personally like to do everything digitally. I used to do half and half. I used to ink it and then color it digitally, or ink it traditionally and then color it digitally. But now I do it all digital. But if you're comfortable with traditional, just do it. You don't have to learn all the programs and all that. You don't have to. That's definitely not necessary.
I've enjoyed it though. I discovered Clip Studio Paint. So I've been working.
Yeah, that's a good program.
I mean, Photoshop is amazing, but it's a beast.
And I'm used to Photoshop, so that's what I use. I tried Clip Studio and I was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I know, it's a different language. The learning curve was real. The learning curve with
it is a good program. Once you get used to it, it is. Yeah, I see why people like it.
And it's lighter and it makes a lot more sense. Like it's way more intuitive, I find, than Photoshop. Because Photoshop, I was just like, I mean, you live with YouTube videos all the time with everything now. The YouTube, if you don't know what you're doing, YouTube
tutorials are the backbone of modern society.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the light bulb went out over my license plate on my car. YouTube video.
Yeah.
Done.
They will teach me all I need to know. I learned so much about digital painting from YouTube. Actually, after I graduated, because when I was in school, that just wasn't something that was taught. I didn't get to take a class in that. It just wasn't emphasized in my illustration courses. So I graduated and I was like, I would really like to know how to digitally paint. So I just taught myself with YouTube and look at me now.
Incredible. Wow. Yeah. Superstar.
I'm trying to be, like I said.
It's taking me forever. I feel like I need to take some kind of mental supplement to keep up. My body is starting to get the old thing going on. Everything gets creaky. Your brain starts getting creaky. And I'm like, no, I will not. So I'm working out and eating healthy and I will continue to grow and get better.
Yeah.
All through my 50s and do this,
You are still alive. You still have time to learn it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I've always thought it would be really cool to be a professor and teach this stuff. I would love to do that someday. When I'm older, after I've made my dream projects, and things are kind of winding down, I'll be like, all right, I'll be a professor now. That's a goal when I'm older.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, how old are you now? You're what, 25, 26?
I'm 25. Yeah.
25? Man, and for what you're doing, you know what I was doing when I was 25? I don't even remember.
Drinking?
I don't remember because I was doing all that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been very I've been weirdly career driven for a long time. Unusually.
That's why your work is the quality it is. And that's why you're running with the people that you're running with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
awesome.
I've been drawing my entire life, so and when I was a kid and it was we had a day at school where it was dress up what you want to career day, you dress up what you want to be. I would always dress up as an artist, so I knew even back then.
How do you imagine an artist?
I remember I wore I had my hair up and I had a little easel and paint and an apron.
Yeah.
Obviously I just wear a black hoodie everywhere. That's my costume is me in a black hoodie. I look like a goth hooker once in a while, but most of the time I just wear a black hoodie and pajama pants. You know what I mean? Yeah.
In my 20s, I had dreadlocks and I had green drawstring pants and sandals. That was the way I rocked it. I was a hippie dread guy, out to save the world.
Yeah. Hug a tree.
Abs all the way. Have a guitar slung over my shoulder. It was a sketchbook and a bong.
Yeah.
That was how
That's
I rolled.
all you need.
For the longest time. Yeah. Things have changed since then, but I think it's gotten better, I'm still happy that I did that in a way,
Yeah. I mean, I think it's good to get certain things out of your system,
Yeah.
When you're young. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
No.
I have friends that are still like that, and I'm like, They're just vibing. Like, it's okay.
I had a story and then I just blanked on it.
Something about dreadlocks?
No, it was before the dreadlocks. It was, you were talking about what you were dressing up like an artist.
Oh, yeah. The apron, the paint.
Yeah.
The hair
apron
up.
and the paint. Oh, it's gone. It just went.
No, it'll come to you in the middle of the night. You're going to be like, dang.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. It was a good one too.
It'll come to you. It's fine.
Yeah. So let's see. Where else can we go here? What else? Who are your main influences? How about this? If you could have a dinner date with anyone, alive or dead, who would it be?
Alive or dead? That's a good question.
For me, it would probably be Picasso.
Okay.
As predictable as that is, it would probably be Picasso. Yeah. And if not, I think I would die if I could hang out with someone. Yeah.
Okay. Bram Stoker, and I would confront him about his bisexuality. He was bi. There's evidence.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh my God. There's like another author who was it? Let me look it up.
It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me he would be bi.
There's nothing straight about writing a book about vampires. Like, just first off. And like, fun fact, apparently, I think it was Bram Stoker, but it was like people at that time, like traditionally vampires were actually supposed to bite the chest. And that's actually in Carmilla, biting the chest because it's where the heart is. Closer but Bram was like, nah, we're going to make it the neck. So it's like less sexy. And I'm like, how is that less sexy? How? In what way?
Because he was thinking chest.
Oh yeah, no boobies, right. But neck is. Come on. Who is the other author? Hold on. Walt Whitman. That's who it is. So he was like in love with his poetry, and he like visited him in America. Like just two bros sharing a bed, like not in a weird way.
Yeah.
You know, like two dudes chilling in a hot tub 5 feet apart because they're not gay, you know? Like, so I'm like, yeah, I definitely talk to him about why xenophobia is bad, because his book was very xenophobic, and also about how he's definitely a closeted bisexual. So yeah.
All right.
That's who I would pick.
Nice. I remember what my story was. So
good. Yay.
It's the worst thing. So I asked my Dad, what is the single most stupid thing I ever did as a kid?
Oh God.
And he didn't skip a beat. He was just like he had been thinking about it previously, and it just continued in his brain. He said to me, that time that you were painting with oil paints in the living room, and you had candles set up everywhere, and you had an open container of
like turpentine or something. Oh yeah.
Like it was a stone throw away from just going up as a fire.
Literally burning the entire house down.
Yeah. I thought, I was like, really, that? And then I thought about it. It's like, oh yeah, he
probably walked in like,
I remember he gave me such a dressing down, you know, not to be all gay in my terminology, but you got me
I got you thinking.
Oh no, I can't say that word. Yeah. So it was like, it was awful. I'm like, oh Dad, you know what's the problem? And sure enough, yeah, no, that was really stupid.
Yeah, no, that's like, I hated when I had assignments for like in oil paint, because like I would refuse to work on them at home. I was like, I don't have a turpentine fountain. Like the school had like a fountain of paint thinner that you could like draw from and like wash your brushes and stuff. And I was like, I don't have this shit at home. Like, I'm doing this in the studio at school. So I'd have to stay late and, like, work on my painting till it was done. And I lived an hour away. And it was like, oh, my God. Like, it just was a hassle and a half.
I love not painting anymore.
Yeah.
Like, once I gave up the painting, and I realized I was watching, I still follow painters on Instagram, right? And I was watching this guy who's an incredible painter. Oh, my gosh. His palette work is like, mwah. I forget his name. It's like 2 or 3 of them, Varley something or other. And he was saying how it takes 20 to 25 minutes to clean your brushes afterwards.
Yeah. It's
and
like
I'm
ridiculous.
Well, that explains why my brushes just would crisp up after I had like already soaped them and stuff.
Yeah,
like
you have to
5
be like
minutes.
thorough. It's
to be
so
anal,
annoying.
man. It's like, do you pronounce the T's in every sentence and every word that you say?
You must dot every I and cross every single T.
Oh gosh, man.
Yeah.
No
it was
thanks.
awful. I remember too in school, like we had lockers for art stuff and they were like, no flammable materials in the locker. And I was like, there's still paint thinner on my brushes and I'm putting them in there anyway. Like, yeah, it was bad.
I remember it when in my OCAD days. So there's a school in Toronto called the Ontario College of Art and Design, right?
Yeah.
And it's legendary. It's actually a really good school for art. Like I'm very thankful that I went there.
Yeah.
But it's not the best. Like the best is the animation schools. There's a thing called Sheridan in Oakville, which is like west of Toronto. But anyway, I went to OCAD. So OCAD was my place. And I did really well, even though most of the time I was completely high and going to the classes.
Maybe that was why you were doing well.
Who knows, right? But I remember I lost my backpack on the bus, right?
Oh,
and
no.
it had a sketchbook that had some like just banging artwork in it. And the dirtiest, crustiest bong you've ever seen in your life. It was like when I was on the subway,
it was like
I was
offensive.
self-conscious because it was like wafting up and spreading through the entire car, right? So whoever got that bag, man, they got a little slice of life in that one.
Yeah, they had a good time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, craziness. Well, listen, Charlie Ragnarok, we've been at it for about an hour, and I am going to get back to this video here and do this thing.
Okay.
We got to do an interview. What do you say to this? So we'll get Mark on, and I'll approach him and Gabe, and we'll see if we can get my buddy Chad on, and maybe do a live stream this week or something.
Sure. Yeah, that would be great.
Awesome. That'd be killer.
Yeah, that'd be really fun. And again, me and Gabe can just be opposites on the same screen and everyone will laugh.
Hilarious. Have you worked together on a project, you and him?
No, not yet. Maybe
Not
someday.
Yet?
Yeah. Like I said, I want to do a variant cover for his book. So, that's kind of working together, I guess.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I love the variant covers. I've done one already, and I'm going to be doing another one, hopefully, for a thing, which is a total honor. Like it's so.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, that's like we discovered one of our artists. We have 2 Katies. Or no, wait, is it Kayla? Sorry. Oh my gosh. We have so many people. I'm like forgetting people. We have one artist that we discovered through her variant cover, and she did a variant of mine. And I felt so honored. And I was like, oh, you did a variant cover of my comic. Like, I felt so special. And it was so beautiful. Like, she did such a good job. So, yeah. Yeah. So it's definitely like, it makes everybody happy,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So where can people find your work? Where do you want to direct them at? You have a Kickstarter coming up in May, but there's nothing for it specifically yet.
Yes, we don't have a page yet, but look for, in May, a Kickstarter from Lesser Known Comics. My second So I Worked at the Mall book will be on that. Right now, you can support me on, I am Charlie Ragnarok on Instagram, Twitter, and Patreon.
You have a Patreon?
I do have a Patreon. So
I'll
if
put
you
that
like
in the description.
Yeah, if you like spicy vampire stuff, go to my Patreon.
There's a big market out there for that.
Oh, there is, actually. I just started working, like I said, with an author that writes spicy vampire novels. Well, like spicy supernatural novels. And one of them is about vampires. And I just did a 2-page spread for her Patreon. So, and she's talking to me about possibly doing a full length, like X-rated comic. So that's kind of wild. We'll see where that
NSFW
goes.
Like,
oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Instagram and Patreon
and Twitter.
Lesser Known Comics and Twitter.
Oh, yes.
You do Twitter too? Yeah.
Yeah. So my published work you can find on lesserknowncomics.com. Just look for stuff by Charlie Ragnarok. I'm sure you'll find it. Yeah.
Nice. I don't know if I have the viewership to send people there, but hey, if anyone's watching this, if you watch it and you've
If you're
stayed through to
watching
the end,
it, you know where to go.
we love you very much for sticking through to the end of the video, and go buy her stuff because it's awesome. And I really appreciate having you on.
Yeah.
And, we will see you soon.
Yes. All right.
Have a good one.
Good evening.
Bye.